Hey Flosstube, it's Dina here with my December update, what I've been up to for the last month. And I'm going to film this in two parts. It's a before and after because I'm going to show you a project I'm going to do as soon as I'm done filming this, and then tomorrow I'll film the rest of it and we'll see if the project was a success or a disaster. One of the two. Alright, so I have some FFOs. So my first one that I did, it was not one of my whips. Actually, I've got two FFOs and neither were my whips. But I did this cute little ornament for my granddaughter Clementine for Christmas. It's one of Brooks Books' Advent calendar animals. And so she's got, I guess, 25 of them. And so you're supposed to do them together as an advent calendar. And instead, what I've decided I'm going to do is stitch one a year with the year on it and give that to her. It was a fun, quick, easy little stitch, which I desperately needed. The only modification I did was, I think, where I've got these little red beads, she had, I think it was white stitches or something. I just decided I would put some beads down there on her tutu. And then I used Vanna's finishing technique to finish this little baby out. And I think I did a pretty decent job. I did not do the Krennic cord maker tool that Vanna uses because I didn't have it yet. But I found this ribbon at Hobby Lobby, which I think looks pretty doggone good. It matches this little border that was sewn on here in the pattern. So I was really pleased with how that turned out. So that'll be for Clementine this year. And so since I pulled out my Christmas stuff, I've got some of my other finished ornaments from prior years. Now, this is when I had no idea what I was doing when I was finishing them, and so these may actually get ripped out and redone. So here was one, Deck the Halls. I didn't do bad, but I don't know. It's got some big dent here, probably the way I shoved it in a box after Christmas. It's a cute pattern, but yeah, I think it'll probably get ripped off. And one of the things that Vanna did with this was she had to sew an interfacing on there, which I thought was a really good idea to help keep it shaped, because it is fabric, and so fabric's going to sag over time. And so I think I'm going to do that when I rip all these apart, is put some interfacing on there. So there's that one. Yeah, not too bad. Not too shabby. I think I just did like a foam board. This little pillow that I made, it probably has only about a fourth of the amount of stuffing that it needs in there, but I never do a good job of finishing pillows, so that could easily get ripped out and I could stuff it some more. I think this would be cute with like some little buttons or something sewn on the corners. So there's another one I've done. I think all of these are little house needleworks, because at one point I was in a subscription program where the lady's not in business anymore, but every month you got a pattern and the linen and any specialty buttons or beads to make an ornament. And so I guess I did it for 3 years and made 4 ornaments. So I've got gobs to do. This was another one. Loved that. The peppermint candy cane. And another foam board thing with some really 1980 fabric. Probably still have some of that left in the closet. And then this one, bless it. I mean, it's got this god-awful wrinkle in the middle of it. Don't know what I did. It was, you know what? It's probably like a cereal box or something that I used. This one will definitely get redone. So anyway, so those are some prior ornaments that I had finished. So that was one FFO. Another FFO. No, not FFO. It's an FO. Finished it this morning. It is this little deer. And it is by Alisa. It's a Russian company. So Alisa. Sorry, guys. And so I got it, I don't know, I saw it someplace, got it off of eBay, I think, shipped from Russia. really, really fast shipping. I mean, I think I got it in under a week. And I just loved the watercolor effect. I did it as charted. I took some artistic liberty with the branches because they wanted me to pierce the Ada, and that wasn't going to happen very much. But I just thought it was really, really, really a sweet picture. Love the little deer looking up at the bird. And so now it's time to frame this. I did go ahead and iron on some oh, you see how bad my back is. I ironed some interfacing onto the back before I frame it, because I'm going to frame it myself. And we'll see if that helps it. And so my project for today is going to be to paint this frame. So I went to Hobby Lobby and looking for a frame for this. And I was hoping they'd have like some Christmas frames, but they were wiped out already. So I found this one, this little 4x4 frame. And it actually sort of matches. But I really want it to be Christmassy looking. So I bought some red paint. And I'm going to attempt to paint this. And then we'll put this back in and see if it turns out. Hobby Lobby always has their frames half price. So I paid $7 for this and $1.19 for this. So if it's a disaster, it's not too much money. But if it works, hey, that's some finishing for under $9. So I will come back tomorrow and show you if this turned out or not. All right, so those are my FOs. I have a restart that I'm going to do for one of my whips. It is the Santa's Village by Country Cottage Needleworks. I hated the fabric I was doing it on. It was so boring. So I chopped it up, chopped that baby off, because I've decided I am going to use this fabric. I could have ripped the stitches out, and I ripped about 2 stitches out and said I'm not doing that anymore. So the rest of this fabric, I've got plenty of it, is going to be for the 12 Days of Christmas by Stony Creek. I thought this was just gorgeous and elegant. And so Stitch Mania is doing a 12 Days of Christmas stitch along starting on Christmas Day. And so I will put my first stitch in on Christmas Day. And so I would like to, do a little bit of each of the 12 days for those 12 days. And then work on it throughout the year. I've got to figure out if I'm going to do a rotation or not, because I think I don't like to do rotations too much. I like to stick with the project until it's complete. So we'll see. And so since I killed this project, I bought this fabric instead. And so I'd seen several people use this fabric. It's 28 count cornflower blue. I think it's going to look much sweeter on this. So the white's going to stand out better, because like when you look at it here, you can hardly see the white. It's like, why bother? And there's a lot of white on there. And so I think it's just going to be so much prettier on this, and I'll enjoy stitching it better because I like the background fabric better. It's a perfectly fine fabric here. I just don't think it went well. I just didn't like it with this. I think it'll be better with my 12 Days of Christmas. So that will be a restart. And then the last little thing that I have to share, because I never do long videos because I stitch mainly one day a week. Don't ever have much progress. But I think I've mastered the project bag. So I dug my sewing machine out maybe a couple of weekends ago and made this cute little bag. And so it is got a zipper. I'm getting pretty good at the zippers. It's got the clear thing so that I can put this in. And I made it big enough so it would hold like a regular size leaflet. And then I can see what's in there. Now, of course, I want to get all crafty and make one. Look how cute. I want to make them to match sort of the theme of whatever I've got in there. So I'd love to find some Christmas fabric, maybe some pretty cardinals or something for this one to go in. Hobby Lobby always has cute little novelty fabric. And I have a Hobby Lobby in town, which is pretty good because my town's only 20,000 people, so I have easy access to crafty stuff every day of the week but Sunday, which is usually when I want it. But this was really cute. And so I had done a prototype, didn't really like it. I think I've pretty much perfected this now. Even on the inside where my zipper is, it's nice and finished. And so this is my little book of everything crafty. All my knitting notes are in here. My favorite, plotted out a Fair Isle pattern for a sock. But anyway, my clear top zipper bag. In order for me to make 2 bags, already figured out, I need a half a yard of whatever fabric I want for the outside, a third of a yard of vinyl, a third of a yard of whatever I want on the inside, like that green, a third of a yard of fusible fleece, and 2 14-inch zippers. That makes 2 bags. So, I mean, I could probably make a bag for $2 or $3. So, well, the zipper's $1 or something. So, all right, we'll say $3 or $4 to make one of these bags. And I can do it in just under an hour. And that's usually me having to rip some stitches out because I don't like the way it looked. So, so I was really proud of myself on that one. And then, last little thing I want to show you is a little bit of haul, not much. I guess I'd been looking at this pattern online, and you know how Facebook spies on you, and they know what you look at, and then all of a sudden in your Facebook feed, you get some advertisement for, hey, you might want this. Well, I guess Facebook figured out I like Russian cross stitch because that's my latest stuff that comes across my Facebook feed. So I got 2 more cross stitch kits by Alyssa, and they're really not much. I want to say maybe $10, free shipping from Russia. And my husband was home the other day, and they got delivered, and he had to sign for them. He's like, what are you ordering from Russia that I've got to sign for? I'm like, oh, cool. So anyway, so this is one of them, Bad Glare. Look at that. I just love animals looking at each other. So the little bear in his knit scarf, and the little penguin. And the little penguin has a present. Isn't that cute? And then this one, which I thought was beautiful. Simple and beautiful. So the bunny rabbit. So I'll do that in time for Easter. Very, very pretty. So anyway, so that is my latest update. And so I will pause this now, go attempt to paint that frame, and then I will come back tomorrow and finish the video and let you know if it worked out. Bye. Hey Flosstube, it's Dina here with an update on my frame project. I did a disaster on the frame. It was terrible. I used that little craft apple barrel paint, and I didn't bother to sand the frame. Didn't really want to stick to it. So then I bought some spray paint and decided I'd spray paint it. I don't know, it was too cold out. And so I was ready to scrap the whole thing. I had left it laying in the yard where I'd spray painted. I'm like, I'm not dealing with it. It's bad. Not going to happen. And my husband said, I can fix it. I'll do something. So I came home today, and the wonderful man that he is, he had managed to salvage it as much as he could. So I don't know what he did. He sanded it down, spray painted it. So here is the finished project. So turned out pretty cute. Not at all my doing. It was all his doing of spray painting this bad boy and making it look much better. So I was pleased. I probably could have done with a bigger frame, but they didn't have any at the time. And I just wanted to get this thing framed and up at in my house in time for Christmas. So my next project for him is I bought some of the I bought one Mill Hill frame a few years ago just so I could see how it was constructed and how it's routed out. And so I showed it to him. So they just route out some edges and then cut 45-degree angles and use a little peg. And hang on, I'm going to pause it and I'll get it and I'll show you. Okay, I'm back. So I went and got the frame from the other room. So I bought this. I mean, it's a Mill Hill hand-painted frame. And so, I mean, it's basically just routed out on the back. 45-degree angles cut here. And a little bit of like a bevel on the inside. He said, oh, it's easy. He could do this. So I'm thinking, and he says, we'll just glue and use a regular staple gun. And then what I really liked about these is it comes with this little tiny dowel rod. And you just stick it in here, and that's what props it up. And so then we could cut them to whatever size I need, which my next thing that should be done is the Merry and Bright by Frosted Pumpkin. So that can be our first experiment with custom making a frame. Because we live in, our neighborhood's under construction constantly, so there's always scrap lumber thrown out where I could totally get this stuff for free. And he loves a little project like that. So anyway, so that, not bad for, well, what did I spend, $7 on the frame, and then $1 for paint that I threw away, and then $3 for the spray paint. So $11 for framing. I opted not to put the glass on it so it could stay puffy. Yeah, I don't know. It'll go in there with my Christmas decorations. And so then the last thing I have to show you is, I said I was going to do a redo on Santa's Village. And I showed you how I killed it. So this was before. And I sat down last night with my new fabric and started stitching. And this is where I'm at now. Look how much better that white shows up. I am loving it. I am going to enjoy stitching this because I can actually see what I'm stitching. Instead of this where I felt like I was stitching all that white and it didn't make hill beans because I couldn't see what it didn't look like anything. So I think I will be much, much happier with this. So my goal is the first week of every month for the next year, do the one of these because there's 12 of them in all. I'd love to have this thing framed by next Christmas. So I'm making myself work on this, and then maybe I'll do Merry and Bright, something along those lines. So anyway, so that's my update. Wanted to share with you the frame. All right, y'all have a great stitching month. I will probably check back in after the Christmas break. Bye.